Northern Italy, late autumn 218 BCE. The remnants of Hannibal's army staggered down the slopes of the Alps like ghosts returning from the underworld. From 50,000, only 26,000 remained, frostbitten, starved, and wounded, but alive. And ahead of them lay the fertile plains of the River Po, guarded by Rome. But this was no time for rest. Hannibal's generals gathered beneath a makeshift Carthaginian banner, a cloth scorched from the alpine cold, stitched to a broken spear. Hannibal stood firm, sword in hand. "We have survived the gods' teeth. Now let us tear out Rome's throat." But Hannibal's reply was colder. "Not yet, let them come. Let Rome taste fear." Rome had sent its legions, one under Publius Cornelius Scipio, another under Tiberius Sempronius Longus, seasoned generals, proud in the might of the Republic. Scipio, the elder, marched north to intercept Hannibal at the Ticinus River. He expected a ragged, desperate force. Instead, he found discipline, cohesion, fury, and elephants. Hannibal deployed his Numidian cavalry first, swift, fierce riders led by the cunning Hannibal. Like wolves, they swarmed the Roman scouts. The ambush was brutal. Scipio himself was wounded and barely escaped with his life. Rome's illusions shattered. They were not chasing raiders. They were being hunted. The first real battle came days later, on the banks of the Trebia River. Sempronius Longus had joined Scipio. Together, their combined legions numbered nearly 40,000. Hannibal had fewer men, but he had plans and he had fire. He sent Mago, his youngest brother, with 2,000 men to hide in the marshes before dawn. The rest of the army prepared in silence. Hannibal chose his ground with care. He drew the Romans out across the icy river in the dead of winter. Sempronius, eager for glory, took the bait. The Romans marched shivering across the freezing Trebia, hungry, wet. Tired, Hannibal unleashed his cavalry. Numidians flanked the sides while Iberian infantry held the front. Elephants charged, trumpeting like thunder from ancient gods. And then Mago struck from behind. Chaos erupted. "Rome bleeds!" Hannibal roared, cutting down legionaries in a storm of hooves and steel. The river turned red. The Roman line broke. Thousands were cut down or drowned as they tried to flee across the ice. Only a few escaped. Hannibal watched from a hilltop as Rome's finest were crushed beneath Carthaginian blades. He did not smile. He only whispered, "This is only the beginning." The Roman Senate reeled. Panic gripped the Republic. Defeat and on Roman soil. Impossible, unthinkable. They blamed Sempronius, they blamed the gods. But they could no longer deny one truth. Hannibal was not just a general. He was a shadow over Rome's heart. Winter came harsh and long. Hannibal's army camped in the marshlands of the Arno, hoping to resupply. Disease spread, men died in the cold. Even Hannibal himself fell ill, his right eye rotting from an infection. But he refused rest. He ordered marches in darkness. He trained his men in deep snow. He hunted wolves with his cavalry to stay sharp. One soldier asked him why he didn't return to Spain and rule as a hero. "Because Rome is not yet broken," he said, "and I promised my father I would see it burn." By spring, Rome had learned one thing. Brute strength would not beat Hannibal. So they turned to a new general, a cautious, calculating man. His name was Quintus Fabius Maximus. His strategy: do not fight. Avoid battle, burn crops, starve the invader. It was a strategy Rome hated. They called him Cunctator, the delayer. But it bought time. Hannibal moved freely across Italy. He plundered towns, recruited Gauls, spread fear. But Fabius shadowed him, always just out of reach. Always watching, it was a war of ghosts. In one chilling night raid, Hannibal's men tied torches to the horns of thousands of cattle and drove them through a mountain pass, tricking Roman scouts into thinking an entire army was moving in darkness. While the Romans chased shadows, Hannibal's true army slipped away, silent, unseen. Hannibal laughed in the cold. "Rome has many swords, but we have the mind." But Rome was growing angry. Fabius's strategy felt like cowardice. The people demanded victory, not delay. In the Senate, voices rose, "Let us crush him. Let us face him." And so 2 new consuls were chosen. And with them came the greatest mistake Rome would ever make. The consuls would gather the largest Roman army ever assembled, over 85,000 strong. Their destination, a quiet town in southern Italy, Cannae, and Hannibal was waiting. To be continued in Part 3, The Harvest of Cannae.